In Shanghai, Lewis Hamilton experienced the kind of weekend that gives Formula One fans emotional whiplash, celebration on Saturday, frustration on Sunday. You could say it was like finally nailing that perfect lap in qualifying, only to stall on the grid come race day. On a bright Saturday morning, Hamilton gave Ferrari something to cheer about, grabbing his first ever sprint victory in scarlet red. The team was buzzing, confidence filled the garage. But someone clearly thought tinkering with a winning formula was a great idea. So, before qualifying kicked off for the main event, Ferrari decided to shake up the setups on both Hamilton's and Leclerc's SF25s. Well, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The result was painfully clear. Lewis and Charles were left stranded on the third row, qualifying 5th and 6th respectively, scratching their helmets and wondering where the magic had gone. Things only spiraled downhill once the lights went out. As soon as the race started, Leclerc saw a gap that wasn't quite there, diving ambitiously down Hamilton's inside. It was a classic case of teammates playing bumper cars, and the collision sent a chunk of Leclerc's front wing sailing through the air like confetti at the wrong party. Charles radioed back with frustration, grumbling he'd just lost 20 to 30 points of downforce. In F1 terms, that's like running with one hand tied behind your back. Not exactly the Sunday cruise Ferrari had planned, right? In fairness to Leclerc, despite missing chunks of downforce, he still had more speed on Sunday. Ferrari noticed it too, and quickly swapped positions, nudging Hamilton aside so Charles could chase the front runners. If Lewis wasn't already feeling like a guinea pig for the team's experiments, Ferrari added salt to the wound by calling him in for an extra pit stop, 2 stops for him, while everyone else breezed through on just 1. But Leclerc's early mishap came back to haunt him late in the race. With tyres fading quicker than an ice cream in the sun, Charles became easy prey for Max Verstappen, who stalked the struggling Ferrari like a lion sizing up wounded prey. Just as the team started boxing up their gear, the FIA threw in a plot twist that felt like something straight out of a Netflix special. Scrutineering revealed drama lurking beneath the surface, quite literally. Charles Leclerc and Pierre Gasly found themselves in hot water with underweight cars, while Lewis Hamilton's ride height fell short of the rulebook's demands. In Leclerc's case, FIA officials replaced his damaged front wing end plate with another they claimed was even heavier, yet somehow the Ferrari still tipped the scales 1 kilo shy. Gasly's Alpine matched the exact deficit. Hamilton, meanwhile, saw his car's plank worn down to 8.5mm, half a millimeter below the 9mm minimum. Rules are rules, and even champions aren't immune. The hammer fell swiftly, disqualifying Hamilton along with Leclerc and Gasly. Before Hamilton even knew he'd landed in hot water with the stewards, he was casually chatting with Sky Italy when suddenly the ride height topic popped up. Lewis put on his best poker face, saying, "Yeah, I'm glad we tried something. Performance wasn't great anyway, right? The sprint felt solid, but when we tweaked the setup trying to squeeze out more speed, we actually went backward. Qualifying got messy, and the race, well, that was even worse." Then, the interviewer probed deeper, asking if Ferrari had more trouble raising their car than other teams did. Lewis quickly played innocent, almost like someone had accidentally leaked a secret Ferrari recipe. With a grin, he shot back, "Wait, who said we raised it? I don't remember mentioning anything about ride height." But here's where things got awkward. Lewis immediately contradicted himself. After initially playing coy, he sheepishly admitted, "Okay, fine, maybe we did raise the ride height a bit after the sprint. It was one of the adjustments we tried." Classic Hamilton. 1 second guarding team secrets like they're gold, the next spilling the beans like he's chatting with an old mate over coffee. Ferrari's engineers were probably face-palming in the garage, wondering how their top secret tweaks suddenly became paddock gossip. Lewis tried backpedaling a bit, quickly clarifying, "Look, we didn't exactly change the ride height massively. It was tiny adjustments mostly, along with a bunch of other tweaks. But when you add all those tiny bits together, things ended up worse, not better." Then, perhaps sensing he dug himself a deeper hole, Hamilton tossed Ferrari right under the bus. "Honestly, Charles tried this setup back in Bahrain. I hadn't even touched it before Shanghai. We both decided to go down that route this weekend, and clearly it wasn't the smartest call. Lesson learned. I'm definitely steering clear next time." But here's the twist. Ride height clearly played a bigger role for Hamilton than he'd care to admit, given his plank wore thin enough to land him in trouble with the FIA. Yet oddly, Charles's Ferrari, supposedly set up the exact same way, didn't face this issue, adding another layer to Ferrari's growing mystery. And it's not the first time Ferrari's been here. Remember the 2023 US Grand Prix? Charles was booted out for the very same ride height blunder. Hamilton, back in his Mercedes days, was disqualified alongside him that weekend too. Coincidentally, another sprint event. If history repeats itself, Ferrari Ferrari might want to rethink their small tweaks. After all, lightning rarely strikes the same spot twice, unless apparently you're Ferrari. It seems Ferrari, and indeed most teams, are wrestling with a tricky balancing act when it comes to ride height during these sprint weekends. The cars start Saturday's shorter sprint races lighter, with roughly a third of a tank of fuel, while Sunday's Grand Prix requires filling them to the brim with an extra 66 kilograms. That hefty fuel load inevitably pushes the cars closer to the tarmac, risking the plank scraping against the track. Ferrari's recent struggles might just boil down to miscalculating exactly how much the cars settle under race start fuel conditions, leading them to underestimate plank wear based on earlier practice sessions. But let's not pick solely on Ferrari. Remember, Mercedes learned this the hard way back in 2023. Heading into Austin, Lewis and George were desperately chasing better rear-end grip, especially after enduring a wild rodeo through Suzuka's Rapid S's. At Circuits of America, those woes seemed magically solved overnight, and Hamilton was practically beaming, raving about how the upgraded floor had finally given him the courage to fling the car into corners like he used to. Yet that newfound bravery came at a cost. Mercedes had inadvertently run their cars too close to the edge, literally shaving off crucial millimeters from their planks. Hamilton's joy was short-lived, his disqualification a harsh lesson that sometimes what feels amazing on track isn't necessarily FIA approved. Now, Ferrari finds itself reliving Mercedes' nightmare, caught out twice in nearly identical scenarios. It's as if these teams have stumbled upon a Formula One Bermuda Triangle. Tweak too far one way and you're fast but illegal. Too far the other and you're legal but slow. The margin of error, razor thin, just like those planks. Whether Ferrari simply misread the numbers or something got lost in translation during the chaos of a sprint weekend, only the Scuderia truly knows. Maybe they'll spill the beans when Formula One rolls into Suzuka, though knowing Ferrari, we might just get more cryptic smiles and vague explanations. Still, losing both cars and a hefty 18 points in China is not just a setback. It's like tripping over your own shoelaces in front of a packed grandstand. After the stewards made their decision final, Ferrari quickly stepped up to face the music, offering a typically polished statement. Charles was on a one-stop, so tyre wear was pretty extreme, which unfortunately led to his car being underweight. As for Lewis's plank issue, we slightly underestimated the wear. It was an honest mistake, nothing sneaky or intentional. This isn't how we envisioned wrapping up our Chinese GP, especially given the incredible support from our passionate fans. Rest assured, we'll take these lessons seriously and come back smarter. Classic Ferrari, always elegant in defeat, even when they're basically admitting they dropped the ball. For now, fans can only hope that the team has truly learned from Shanghai, or we might soon witness another episode of Ferrari's very own version of Groundhog Day. Do you think Ferrari made the right call switching Hamilton's setup after the sprint, or did they sabotage their own weekend? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.